Hello there, welcome to another video. This is the semi-finals of the GBG Rookie Discord tournament that's being held, which we've been covering beforehand. So we just finished up the quarter-finals there, so this is the semi-finals, and kicking this off we've got Dark Magician versus Grenooli. You see Dark Magician here in the orange. It'll be a Trade Federation mirror, so Grenooli's up here in the red, and the map is Shoreline. Decent amount of food for both players, some berries, some lure. Some extra berries here. Doesn't really look like there's extra berries for Dark Magician. It's getting that dewback lured. Unfortunately, Grenooli's built his food processor a bit early because there's 3 dewbacks and that could keep you going for quite a while because that's over 1,000 food. So you get your carbon processor set up and you can maybe look into angling it to get some utility trawlers down in this game to get a bit of an economic boost because there's quite a decent amount of fish. And Grenooli's probably got the best spot here for fishing as well, given his sort of distance to the shoreline and how much water he's got access to. And looking at that water, lots of nice large and medium fishes, and not just the shore fish. What you could also do is eat the shore fish. This would be a very good spot for a food processor because you could grab up the 2 EOPs and then you could eat off these shore fish. And they've got quite a fast gather rate, the shore fish. They are a good subsidize of food before you get your farming going. Since there's no nurse, there won't be any nurseries, so there's not really an inclination for anyone to go for early Mountie aggression. I'm just going to speed it up a little bit because it's going to be a little bit slower just because there's not the trickle down effect of all the nerfs granting you that food over time. So again, Grenooli here seems to like to lure his dewbacks quite far away from the command center or the food processor rather than right up next to it. It's a bit inefficient, something to work on. Carbon processor going down, and a last dewback getting lured here for Magician. And I think Grenooli's got an awful lot of workers on food right now. He's very slow to get his carbon going, and this could have a big impact on his actual tech time and his ability to get military infrastructure up. Because the distance between the 2 players it's not that high at all. It's a very decent map for rushing. And with Trade Federation, it's much more difficult to wall as well because you don't get prefab shelters. Now there are opportunities to sort of stall things out, you know, but this would be so much easier with just prefab shelters because that's 1, maybe a bit of light wall shenanigans, or maybe 2 to close that bit because the hill's a bit tricky. 1 there, 1 there. You could wall this as well. You could really slow things down in terms of a rush. You could do a full wall to be honest, but I wouldn't recommend doing a full wall as Trade Federation. It'd be better to have your own military infrastructure. This is an interesting decision from Magician not to eat the berries but to just start farming. And I prefer that you were doing both. So you started going on the berries with like 8 workers or so and then you put your extra ones onto the farms. It's about 200 food, so it's still a while before we can tech up there. You see, Grenooli's now sorted things out, but then he's just got a crazy amount over here on the carbon now. It's quite a all over the place T1 distribution of the workers. Now we've got tons of idols here. They are going to put that food processor down, that's good. A very good play there. I think if you take the berries and you get like maybe 5 farms or so, that's enough to get you over the threshold, and then you can get your troop center power core and you can rush your opponent. And then you just slowly add on farms after that. The berries sort of keep you going, and then the farms give you that little bit extra. But you know, you're not committing too much carbon investment into the farms. Whereas here, we're going to have to put a lot of carbon into the farms. This would be better suited to go in T3, I think. Because you're not really going to have the carbon to throw into troopers and such. I'm going to drop the troop center anyway though. You could maybe be getting rushed by now if you take the berries. Now, Grenooli's not going to have much at home. He's building this power core right next to command center. It'd be very safe if there were Mounties. But what will it be powering? So we've got Grenooli clicking T2 here. Actually ahead of our friend Magician here. He's not invested any carbon, though there was that moment where he wasn't really getting carbon early, so I'm not sure how much carbon he would be ahead. Still got the power core and the troop centre down though. I can see that Magician is building troops, but he doesn't have a power core. Can't quite afford it. I think he can just afford it now. So Grenooli's going to have the faster rush here. Magician clicked up. You know, it's very late. So he's going to have to be on defensive here, I would have thought, if Grenooli capitalises on this. But we've only got one troop centre, and then we're on to Nova. And the problem here for Grenooli is that it's going to take him ages to get into a position where he could be T3. And like this 3 workers on Nova is just so excessive. Because there's nothing to spend Nova on in T2. And 3 is, over time, it's going to accumulate quite a lot. This could honestly just be 1 worker. But yeah, or just 2 workers a lot later on, once you get the food going. So he's got a little rush to go. This is all going to run out soon. Look at the food. Gonna need farms, yeah. But then there's no second tech building yet. So a lot of carbon investment's going to be needed. We're pushing out now, and similar troop counts, but Grenooli does have more. Both players do have range. But extra trooper advantage has just really snowballed that fight. 3 remain. They're going to harass the workers here. Building a turret, but you can walk up right next to it. That's good play. Into its minimum range area, so it can't shoot at you. Just need to remember to leave the guys on stand ground. Yeah, he has. It's causing a lot of disruption here. It needs to focus this guy down though. Just going to slowly clean this up. Getting the second building, but again, look at the food. I'm still struggling to get anywhere close to 800. But could spaceport, could buy the food. Just cut the workers, just buy the food, tech up. A little bit of a counter move coming here from Magician. Heading over with his troopers. Right, we're off to T3, that's good. It's looking quite nice now. It's unfortunate that the Nova's like right in front here. It's just going to get killed off with the troopers. And sort of walled the workers out as well. Some extra farms being placed. You might need to drop a turret. We'll definitely get 1 turret here, just to guarantee we get to T3 safely. Then we can put the aggression on the strike mix. There's a turret, that's good. Everything's back at home for Magician. Not looking too good with his eco. Really should have eaten these berries. Between the berries and then the shorefish and the little Eopies here, Grenooli's gotten a lot of free food that he's not had to invest carbon into. The Magician's sneaking over here at the left hand side where it's quite open. But Grenooli should be T3 very soon. Dropping another I don't think he needs to do this with the other turret. I think he could just rely, make the strike mech and run the workers away. It's not a lot of troops. And this turret would have been enough of a deterrence that they wouldn't chase them like into this area. Strike mech's out now. Can send it off and be aggressive. Got Magician trying to catch up here, getting the spaceport down. You'll need a second building to go up to T3. Grenooli needs to do a bit of like macro and fix his workers. You can see a lot of these guys are all idle. Let's try and make it over here, but Magician has made 2 turrets, which is going to keep his carbon workers somewhat safe here. This one can be very annoying though, and just sort of deny this area where there's not range for the turret. It's going to make him maybe pull them away. He's got a second carbon spot, but it's also very vulnerable. You can put the strike mechs just behind it. Be very annoying. And then these workers here on the ore and Nova are quite exposed as well. Any grenadiers here made for him to sort of weather. There we go, there's one. See if we can get a good shot off. That's one shot, not paying attention. Second shot. Third shot and they're both dead. I could shoot it. It's 2 hits to kill the Grenadier. Oh. Missing. In fact, is it 3 shots? I don't have any upgrades. I don't know. These guys very vulnerable. These two need to like not take any shots though. There we go. 1 Gren going down. It's going to snowball a little bit here now as the strike mech count gets higher and higher. He's managed to kill this one off here. I hear a lot of workers going down. And Grenooli really pulling ahead here in this matchup. But Magician does get to T3 now. So you can see if he can hold this with maybe a mech destroyer. I'm going to keep these guys away from these strike mechs. Getting lots of opportunities to do tons of damage to him. There's the mech destroyer now though. And quite a couple of those are just one shot. See 2 of them, he's already killed off 1. Really still rallying more, but needs to pull them away. Anti-air turret, smart from Magician. Even less smart from Grenooli, I think, who should have probably had an air base here just to put on some pressure earlier. And it might have won him the game earlier there. If there were strike mechs and fighters just pulling apart Magician. But made it to D3. He's got his little mech gang here, the one-shot gang. 3 of them. Scout included. 1 shot from this mech destroyer. He's maybe going to make a mistake here and trying to force more aggression here when his opponent's got enough to defend it. You can see he's built 2 mech destroyers. It's kind of time to pull these guys back, take them home and repair them. So get 100% health on all those strike mechs and ensure we get good value out of them. And you should be a bit ahead and you can maybe build up some mech destroyers and put some pressure on that way. He's making some fighters, which you could use to harass this area, and this area where he's not got this turret. But I think Magician's probably got a bit of ore, because he's been mining ore for a while. And maybe only just mined enough to get that turret, actually. Because he did drop the double turrets. He got knocked off it by the strike mechs. So Magician pushing forward with some strike mechs here, but getting pushed back. He's luring him towards his turrets. Don't want to do that. Here's the fighter now though, which is going to cause problems. You have to pull the workers away from this area. Since there's nothing to defend, it looks like he's maybe bought some ore and try to slam down a turret, but I think these fighters are actually going to kill all of these if he doesn't pull the workers off his farms. There's just not enough to build it quick enough. A lot of losses. These fighters are just worth their weight in gold. So much. Oh, look, we almost got both of them away there as well after pulling away late. Mech destroyer problem. This is bad. They're throwing this away. Horrible. There's some more workers going down though. Oh, didn't notice this on the other side of the map. Tons and tons of workers going down to these strike mechs. Well, he doesn't have basic training, that's the problem. Really, he's not upgraded his workers, he's missing HP. Look at this, 40 HP compared to 55. And on top of that, they've got no armour. That's why he's just killed tons of workers there so quickly. Chasing here with his fighters, pulling them away. And it looks like Magician's gearing up to put some pressure on with a big mech attack. Grenooli does have good options to deal with that. I mean, he's got 2 mech factories for one, he can make mech destroyers, but he could also make some bombers as well, which would completely shut this down. That would force his opponent to have some sort of anti-air. Strike mechs versus a mech destroyer, and neither of them have got upgrades. Mech destroyers are winning that big time. Grab this guy and repair him. Looks like he's maybe trying to lure the mech destroyers out here. Not too sure what he's up to. I think going forward in the game, this is kind of the area you want to fight over, these 3 Nova piles in this big hill. Oh no, mech destroyer getting lured away into a fight on the hill. Severely outnumbered. This terrain's going to cause problems, it's not going to make it around here. You could pick these mech destroyers off if you focus fire them. There's one shot, yep, that's nice. He gets second volley. Oh, he gets them there. He's coming in and he's getting to kill too many workers. And he's technically overcommitting here just because he doesn't have basic training. He just dies so quickly. When I first saw it, I thought he had like all the upgrades for his mech with no war center. Neither player getting command centers, it would seem. There we go, there's one for Grenooli. I mean, he's been T3 a very long time. Grab that some more. Really like to see these units get repaired. Just need to click R and click on them. This trooper just sitting here waiting for his opportunity to be annoying. The Night Destroyers are going to shut him down though. I'm really not sure how this game's going to go. Have a look at the worker counts. There's been a lot of workers killed off for both players. So it's 46 to 37, so Grenooli is still severely ahead in the workers. But for how long? Because we still don't have basic training and there's more raids being sent out, and I think Magician's maybe clocked on that you can trade strikes for workers. And to be fair, you absolutely can when there's only like 2 command centers, because they're just not going to get replenished quick enough. And look how quickly you can get in and out and just kill off these workers. Just because of that lack of armor, lack of HP. We're not seeing any desire to fix this and get basic training. Night Destroyers are prodding forward now. Even they're probably going to do quite well against the workers. Yeah, look at them. Oh, I'm losing a Night Destroyer there though for pretty much nothing. The air shut this down. This is why I talked about the bomber would be very good here. The Night Destroyers are out of position trying to deal with these strike mechs. Magician just getting tons of damage here, so he's probably evened out that worker count. Here's a bomber though, that's good. Should really put an end to this attack. Again, more workers going down that really shouldn't. A really awkward spot to be fighting in. The walls are good, I would definitely want to wall this to be honest. Prevent that happening, make the fights happen here. Be easier if your opponent's pressuring in the same angle that they have to throw their strike mechs in to harass you as well, and you can sort of deal with both. The Night Destroyer's quite far away from the base now. There's a second command center for Magician now, grabbing up that Nova here on the left hand side. It's got an awful lot of mechs now though, but just no upgrades. No war center. No range, no damage, no armor. He has made some AA mobiles though. So that's going to put an end to any sort of defending here. And unfortunately, Grenooli sort of walled his mech destroyers out at this point. And this guy's going to get practically spawn camped. Wow. Be a tricky hold because Grenooli's own like base architecture's against him here. They're just maybe going to come around this side now. It's severely in the lead with a standing army. Grenooli's not pulled his mechs back out. So pushing up here. Don't know, even more work attack. Another mech destroyer that could get picked off here. Strike's killing off more workers than it should, as usual. Because we've still got basic training. Magician has given him time to get his mech star count higher. Slowly sending over an artillery. I'd like to see like a fort built. We could probably force one like right here. Completely deny the Nova. If you do that and then you make artillery, it's gonna be difficult to deal with because you need Nova to deal with it. You need your own artillery or big mounty attack or something like that. See them just chunking away slowly at the command centre. Even got a hill to sit on top of as well. Some strike mechs come to harass the workers. Oh, he has gotten basic training now though. Better late than never.
Roger, roger.
I've got to wonder how Grenooli would do here if he lost half the workers he did, which is probably what basic training equates to. Just that vulnerable without it. Getting a shield generator here is a very interesting world with all his tech buildings. He's done his best for Trade Federation, the whole. He's gotten the shield up, so with the shield up and him having upgrades, I would be looking to come surge forward here and pick these off as best I can. So that's what he needs to do. He needs to push this army back, and he can do that by cutting the numbers in half. Let's pick 2 off and just keep going. Just spread these out and just pick them off. Could probably win this fight if you split all your MDs up quite well. Don't want to fight into the hill now though. Oh look at all these MDs surging. No. We've got a shield, we want to sit in it. Need to repair these as well. Keep getting the upgrades since Magician just not wanting to. Could be a big differential in these fights. Another thing, the Mounties would be very good against this army as well, so I think this would be an opportunity to slam down another troop centre, get a nursery, and just get a good amount of Mounties together. They'll do even better since there's no upgrades as well. Very few strike mechs. And the way that he's stacking the units up here as well, if you've got some Mounties around here, it'd just be so much surface area for them to do damage, and it's so difficult for the army to retreat. I think in this instance, to deal with this, gang of Mounties, send the mech destroyers up onto this hill and try to pick from behind. Because they're not going to want to run forward into the Mounties, they're going to want to run back. And then that way you can sort of cut off the reinforcements, any strike mechs that try to reinforce as well. I think you just don't have enough to deal with this, or a good enough counter composition. See, there's a lot of artillery out now, and quite good with TF. Get a little bit of a speed bonus, and you know, in T3 they do a decent amount of damage. Look at how quickly the buildings are going down. And make short work of these turrets as well. And as he gets further into this area, the manner of which Grenooli can engage this army becomes even more awkward for himself. He's built a second shield generator over here, but not really anything to sit into. And it wouldn't really be good to split the forces. You can see that the buildings are going to start causing these units to clip out of position and get picked off. And there's just so many mech destroyers now for Magician. I think Grenooli's just hanging on, but at what cost? Get pushed further back. Look, tons of idols up here as well. Calls GG. Yeah, Not really any options for him there. If we look at how it ended on the food as well, we definitely could have gotten a gaggle of Mounties out and swarmed this army. I think it would have done quite well. But that was a good first game. See, the games have definitely improved as we get here into the semi-finals. As the stronger rookie players get here and face each other. So the next game, Magician Grenooli again. So it'll be Republic Mirror. Is this landmass? I've seen the landmass an awful lot. So Grenooli in the teal this time, but Magician's still in the orange, and got a lot of nerfs here. Maybe just because they're Republic and they can get the extra nerf upgrades in the nursery at T4. The landmass does love having extra nerfs often in the centre. So that's what, 8, 12. So maybe these are the natural ones, the 16, but then they've got 4 here. Yeah, there's definitely extra nerfs. Yep. It's not just the centre, in the corners as well. So we'll see how that ends up. But we're definitely going to have a faster tech level 1 now with these nerfs. See, we're nearly eating one of the nerfs, that's good, just keep this worker production going. I used to put 3 on it rather than 2. Don't know where this guy's going. He's way out of position. Quick carbon processor here for Grenooli. Magician about to do the same. For some reason I really just want to put a carbon processor in this little spot. Oh, he's found some of the extra nerfs. Yes, he already got 16, he's just gotten 8 more. Map is Imba. I mean, it's Grenooli, because he's not scouted this little bit. It's going to be severely behind in the nerfs. It might just come down to that in this game. Building the second nursery, but just for 1 nerf at the moment. And the scout's just unable to find things. Gonna go in the centre now, I hope. Because this will at least even it out a little bit. I think Magician's still gonna have more. Should get them here now. Oh no. Scout to find his opponent, but he's just gonna fall behind that. It's got 3 nurseries now for Magician. Bit unethical. A lot easier for him to find his as well, because it's just like if you look at the way his land's formed, in terms of like what you would intuitively scout. Magician coming forward here, put a wall down. Even worse if Grenooli's scout is walled in here, and there's still these nerfs to be found. That's a nice shore fish, except for these guys, they're walking many miles to the fish. Getting ourselves housed as Republic, that's a classic feel. These guys liking the civs that give you extra population or unlimited pop. The TF and the Republic. Help you avoid those getting housed mistakes. What's this whacker up to? Maybe he'll find the nurse. And this rancor. Now you're gonna go and wall this crossing as well. Okay. Clever. Use some light walls probably. Over this little bit. I got prefab over it. Ah, Magician a greedy boy. Oh, he's worked. He's smart there. Because if he runs them down, he's going to reveal them at Grenooli. Tournament game, no mercy. So just going to hide them. Better to deny them than try and greed for them, because he's already got 3 nurseries anyway. He's way ahead in that circumstance. Grenooli hitting T2, so I think both players are just going to look to T3, and this might just come down to fighters and whatnot. I'm not sure what happened there. So medium wall, strong, deny any mech antics, trooper antics, doubt there'll be any though. Both Republic, both gonna want to go fighters I think. And Scout just herding these nerf to the furthest point of this little plateau, archipelago, whatever it is. Land area surrounded in water. Spaceport going down, need a second building. Mech factory building for Magician. Oh, double carbon, interesting. Could definitely afford it with all his nerfs. Spaceport, Mech factory. I think it's going to be a very powerful T3 here for Magician with all the extra nerfs, particularly if they get upgraded. Temple Spaceport, does he have holograms? Got 2. More than 2? What? I can't even see. Oh, 3. Maybe make up for the nerfs a little bit if the game goes on long enough. Can barely see where these are. Where's the 5th one? Can't find it. It's worse than Where's Waldo? Where's Holdo? Don't know. Don't know where the 5th one is. We'll find it later. Maybe Grenooli will show me. It's getting the Padawan, but god damn his eco is messed up. Ah, this is not a good look. This is bad. You could get triple air based here. You don't want it. This you should be taking rather than building this. It should be PlayStation fighting game. Tekken. So you cancel those 2 workers and cancel the Padawan, you can tech. So we're building extra farms, but what we're inviting is a circumstance where the opponent is T3, has fighter access, and just flies over and kills us and pins us in our base before we can get any sort of defensive infrastructure or the units out to defend it. So say he's T3, he's not even started, he just started it now. So he's so behind in that circumstance. 1 airbase dropping, I think Magician could probably afford 3 or 4. Just be slamming as much airbases down as possible and just flooding his opponent with fighters and then some bombers. That'd be a quick kill. Let's build 1 airbase. Start queuing things up. A bomber, okay. Not rallied though. There's no power core actually to kill. Fighters. I don't think I've ever done it in this circumstance where I built the bomber first. Usually I was the fighters first because they're well quicker, scouting, etc. Pin your opponent down. I usually do like 4 fighters or something and then like the 5th unit's like a bomber and then it's more fighters. I don't think you really need more than 1 bomber. You can get a lot of stuff done, even in team games with that. You try and use the bomber to like lure people's fighters towards you. Because they try and come forward and snipe it. You can use your scout to see when the fighters are coming. You sort of have control over the engages. So it does get a turret up because it took a little while for a Magician to come over, I think. He only built the air bases 1 at a time. Built the bomber first, didn't rally his units over as soon as they came out. He does have the 3 bombers here, but you could definitely get on the nurseries because they're not covered. And we're going to need like double airbase, I think. And, this is bad. This second kickstart turret. Imagine if it was here right now. I think that's maybe just panic. Look at Grenooli's eco. You could definitely, you can buy more ore and stuff. He's mining it, but like, fortunately only has 1 nerf in that nursery. But still, we want a turret here. Cover the Nova, cover the nurseries. And now he's lost access to his nerfs. And now it's, what, 30 nerfs versus no nerfs. And again, we don't have anything to defend the command center as well. I do think this is a bit of an unethical map, but Grenooli could definitely respond to this better and keep the game going. It's a little bit harsh second game after such a close first game. Just a little bit of a map screw and then, you know, a catastrophic error like building the second turret here. But then we did talk about the Padawan that's built rather than teching as well. So lessons sort of learned there and the importance of the actual tech time. Because you can do the Padawan stuff, and I mean you've walled out your opponent as well. You can get the Padawan picking up the hollows whenever you want. For your opponent to play around that, they'd have to build an air transport and grab them up and stuff. He's got some fighters out here, and he's moved his fighters away, so the bombers are completely undefended, so you've got to clear these up. He's killing a lot of fighters there. He's had to rebuild his command center. He's not quite dead though. Still alive, but thinking about the economic differences with the nerfs and stuff, you know, it can be a very easy sort of T4 upgrade the air here for Magician. Or go Masters. Rebuilding the command center exactly where it was. I'd be almost inclined to build it a little bit further up so we can get on the Nova as well. Build it here and then just put a food processor. So Magician keeping an eye on him here with the scout. Another two hollows, well there's the third here. I think he's maybe scouting with his fighter here, is he? He has found it and he's seen these 4 nerfs finally. Looking to do some harass now with his fighters, because he does have a fighter lead. That is a bit even. Just not really mustered his together there. There we go. He's going to look to maybe take the trade now. Really needs to be careful. Oh, he just went on patrol. He might win this. I think that's a pretty good trade for Grenooli, considering there was some workers to hit, and he sort of patrolled kind of late into that fight as well. Evens is good. I think it's about the same number of fighters, to be honest. He's still not gotten his nerfs back, they're just sitting here. Because there's actually no way for Magician to run them into his base, since it's walled. I'd like to see Grenooli go and get these back. Magician's priority should probably be getting an air transport and grabbing all of these. It's worth the sort of mechanic investment. Building the transport, moving it around while you're maximum. Because you're going to get so much out of all these nerfs, particularly as Republic as well. When you get to T4, if it goes that late. We're getting that third holocron. But where is Holo 5? Oh. Finding some nerfs. What's he scouting for here? Might find these. Not really much happening. Things sort of settled down since that big fighter trade. Taking down this round cut. Still not found these nerfs that are just sitting here. Sad. He's off to T4 now. It's that big food lead. Artillery though, rather than going for the T4 air. Really, they've got the food, well, the Nova for T4. They don't have the food quite yet. I think this Republic, this is definitely going to be like both players just open T4 air, really. With the way that this map is and things are. So he has upgraded his fighters here. Not sure why we really bothered with the artillery, because he's got bombers. Honestly, I think Grenooli probably should have just taken that trade. crazy to see. When your opponent has fighters, just it's a bit Chad trying to kill the nursery though. They're gonna knock them out. What's happening there? Click them. Lady me. Got this fighters together, but the fast fighters are going to kill workers so quickly. This area a bit under defended as well. It's going to get 2 turrets. It's definitely a kickstart base. Hell yeah. 5th turret. On the way to T4. Got the fort. The fort's nice, but I think the fort would have been really nice over here. Because I think the worst thing that really happens to you in these matchups is your Nova workers getting killed, particularly while they're holding Nova that they've not deposited. And the fort really helps, having somewhere to quickly garrison them into, but also decent sort of defence. Be nice here as well, because it's sort of facing the area where land units could be coming. I don't really feel like it's doing much over here. Yeah, this is just a coastline area. There's no naval threat or anything like that. Be great just over this area. Keeping an eye on this ore as well. So we've got the fast fighters heading out. I don't know if we're getting upgrades for them. Right, just building fast fighters. You can see how quickly they're killing the workers off. And this is even with basic training. Flying here into the turrets. This just still so strong. Even with the fighters there, when it loses half of them. Can still run around and terrorise the workers. Grenooli hitting T4 now. Getting fast fighter and shield researched. I don't think he's taken tons of damage though. I think he's doing really well considering how many nerfs he's behind his opponent. But we can see that Magician's already working on a sort of differential here, getting some ground units. He's killing off the wall. He's got some strike mechs that are ready to run out here. And some artillery. Grenooli's going to need to get a lot of fighters out and get advanced fighters as well. And then I think you can sort of hold everything with just fighters. Because they're quite decent against units that don't have like armour and stuff like these mechs have got no upgrades. They're quite good against heavy weapons, bizarrely. Despite their counter being built out of that building, the AA-mobile. And these workers are quite exposed, they've got nowhere to garrison into. So again, I think the fort should have been here. So fighters and strike mechs coming forward, and we need more fighters. Oh, he's got his advanced turrets, which are good, but he needs the fighters to kill off these strike mechs. What I worry about is these just losing here in this trade. There's 2 turrets going hard though. They are missing a lot of shots. There's lots of workers going down. We've only got a couple of command centres to rebuild these. Let's have a quick look and see, where's the nursery? Is it at the end? It's not quite gotten this one yet. This is the Republic specific one, so you get an extra 20%. Faster food production from all those nerfs he's got. Look at the food. Tons of food. And that's for what, like, look, like 8 farms, 4k food. It's there! Finally. Could not find it. That is one thing he's got going for him. He's got these 3 hollows and he's had them pretty much all game. I feel like this fortress could have been a little bit more ambitious over the ore. So he's going to build this forward here and take the sort of centre area. Which is going to be good going towards the late game because it's, you know, some extra trees and stuff. Very easy angle for him to pressure into Grenooli's base because you can walk up into this area and you could start reinforcing it, and then you've got a nice arc to push into the base. We'd like to see the advanced fighter upgrade. Needs to clear these fighters as well. Just built so many turrets in such a little area and then made them advanced as well. I do wish they were spread out a bit better. He's not going to have any ore for like shields or anything if he makes ground units. It's not a great ground army here though. Decent amount of fighting. Can you clear this up? Before his opponent realises. Because you could just kill all these for free, really. The big number difference. Grab up this ore. I would be eating this ore as quickly as I could in this circumstance, because knowing that it might get knocked off it very soon. And is anyone going to get Jedis? Jedis would be a really big differential. Why not be getting advanced fighter as well, or armor? Big upgrades for the fighters. Too many workers here as well. I feel like the replay's broken. So little happening. These are going to kill this command center at this rate. It's going to be very difficult for him to engage this. He's got the cannons now as well, the little anti-air mobiles. The easiest thing Magician could actually really do though is just like leapfrog forward with advanced turrets. At more high level, that's what we'd be doing with just troopers and turrets and just crawling forward. And this wouldn't do very well against masters. And they both got the same amount of fighters really, but just neither want to get the extra upgrades. You should really be getting these holocrons as Republic. Nothing to really stop these strike mechs because his fighters are all the way over here. He has gotten the advanced fighter upgrade now though, and he's looking to do some harassment. And to be fair, Magician's not really got any sort of anti-air. He's got the one normal T3 turret, and his air's out of position here with his army. Can really be going back and helping defend, since he doesn't really need to be with the army with how many anti-air mobiles he's built. But at the same time, we've not really got anything here for Grenooli on the ground to deal with this army. I think his best bet would have been to get masters out and just slow, stall, convert things until there's an opportunity to just outright kill the army. And they must have just traded their fighters here because there's only about 3 for Grenooli. And it looks like Magician's lost all of his. Oh, has he? Yeah, it seems so. There's no other way they would have died anyway. He's got some up here shooting at these strike mechs, but he's lost this command center and these units getting pushed away. And he's going to lose his holocrons at this rate as well, which is sort of a big differential that's keeping him in the game. It's a very slow, methodical push here from Magician. I feel like he's got a lot of money that he's just not using yet. He's got 7,000 food, 4k carbon. Could really get a lot of troopers if we invested into that. coming forward with the air, but all these turrets have been really annoying. Looks like he's maybe gotten homing, is it? Yeah. There's nothing to stop the cannons at the moment. Some MDs getting made. They're going to maybe take some pot shots at these now that they're out the shield. Let's have two over here that you want to grab and get them involved during this window where he could kill them. That window's closing. Maybe only going to get one. Why did they stop shooting? There, kill it, kill it, kill it. There, fort's going to go down. Running out of space here. You're just in sort of all over the map. This Padawan, this like, I've never seen a Padawan get value in T4, but he is. Look at him go. No upgrade strike mech, taking a while to kill him off. This Padawan go! I feel like the council should really recognise him as a master. Oh, that's a nice little spot here. Over the water. Knocking down the command centre. You know, I still don't feel like Grenooli's actually died here. Because there's not that much units from Magician, it's just his cannons and stuff. But there needs to be more of a transition towards like Masters or something. I think Masters is just perfect in this instance. There is one. So what kind of upgrades have we got? None. So we ideally want to obviously get this. This is a, I mean that's pretty cheap, 200. Definitely get that. For the 3 range it's just insane, keeps them so safe. We normally get this as well. Faster regen. And between the 3 of those it'd be fine with such low amounts. Doesn't need to invest anything else, I think. Don't think Mind Trick's that necessary just now, it's expensive. But just the ability to convert these things at range, just really slow this out, because there's just nothing to kill the masters on the ground. You could slowly build some bounty hunters and stuff up, but then you get an opportunity to maybe snipe those with the fighters. Magician really needs to start getting war center upgrades. Like, looking at the economy as well, can absolutely afford them. You have to remember, it's like, even the range, like, even if you're not going to build those units late game, the range applies to your turrets. So you can see how it's +2 on this turret. +2 on these units. It applies to your forts as well. And for the attack hits all the troopers as well. I probably don't have too bad mechs. Got like decent strikes, decent MDs. They have a place anyway in the game. Just having heavy mech can be quite good. I'm going to try and build a command center up here. So I'm worrying about, he's got a heavy mech upgrade here, Magician, but just still no war center stuff. But this cannon can sit in the shield and hit the command center. Oh man, we've got 2 temples but they're unpowered. Munch up this Nova. There's so many MDs out now. Masters I don't think are going to cut it really. I need Mounties or Grenadiers. Even without the upgrades, these do like, in mass, they do decent amount of damage, like to 1 or 2 masters. They'll get sniped slowly but surely. So, GG there. Magician taking both games 2-0. I think Grenooli did very well to hold on for as long as he did there, given the circumstance. It does suck that we've got like 30 nerfs here and he's got like 10 and then he loses his nerfs as well. rough stuff, but GG. I'll see you guys in the next video. If you like this one, leave a like on the video, comment, subscribe to the channel if you're not. And the next one we will finish up the semi-finals. Can't really remember who's in that, but I'll get that out in the next couple of days. So see you in the next one. Bye bye.